Hi everyone, Medina here. Thank you for tuning in. I've just come across an interesting observation recently, and I don't know if you felt the same way. But I'm noticing that with everything that's happening in the world at the moment and all the information that's coming through, we are being very much impacted by a bombardment of energy about the density of the earth, of things that are coming up that were hidden, like pedophilia, things like that. And so there's a sort of a certain density that's happening in the world at the moment, and I'm finding that the people that are perhaps coping better with the whole situation are people that are opting out of the 3D matrix. So what does that mean? So the 3D matrix is being someone who is part of the system. They're completely believing in the system in which we exist. They think that the political parties are there to support us and help us. The banks are actually there to help us, and the corporations are there to provide for us as well, all those sorts of things. That's the 3D matrix. That the general media is reporting, very objectively all the news of the world, that's all the 3D matrix. So the people that are not buying into that and have stepped out of that awareness and have a different paradigm are actually people that seem to be managing and functioning better in the world at the moment. So when you step into a different paradigm, which is seeing the world in a different way, it allows you to have your own inner foundation or center, which when you're part of that 3D matrix, part of the system, you're part of a collective system, and it's in a sense taking away your power. So when you have your own inner barometer, your own inner center to keep you stable, then you're able to deal with all this information that's coming to us about a whole lot of stuff. As it is actually healed and transmuted, it has to come up first. So you can think of it like, and I heard this recently, it was a fantastic metaphor, it's like a fish pond, and there's all this mud at the bottom of the pond. And in the past, we couldn't see the mud at the bottom of the pond. It was all, invisible to us. We couldn't see it. But now all this yucky mud is rising to the surface, and as we see it come to the surface, we think that that's what the whole pond is. It's just this awful mud, but actually it's coming up to the surface so that it can be cleared and it can be transmuted and gotten rid of. And so it has to come up in that way, but in that process it makes it look like that's all there is, and that's not true, because there's all this other amazing stuff happening around and underneath that we can't see necessarily. So when you have that really strong center within yourself, that really strong foundation, and you manage to rise above that and stay in your own frequency, which is not impacted or affected by all this stuff that's going on around us, then that is the key to be able to get through this time in a much better way than you would if you didn't have that center. So I really encourage everyone to create that foundation within themselves. And how do you create that foundation? Great question. So you do things like you spend time with self, working on building and strengthening the inner. And things like meditation, time in nature, time by yourself where you're not impacted by other people's energies. Time in stillness where you stop all that overstimulation that's happening in our world. Time where you energize yourself in positive ways, listening to beautiful music, maybe even connecting with people that uplift you and make you feel fabulous, or doing things for self that really honor and nourish and nurture that soul, the inner self. So this is what I really recommend for everyone at this time. And of course, we can all be challenged at different times. And the more challenged we are, the more we need to do this inner work. So also having an internal discernment about things that's not affected by external opinion. So when you go inward and ask, does this resonate with me? Is this true for me? Because we get 20,000 opinions about everything these days, and you've got to work out what is true for you. And so that is also really, really important. So I hope that this was helpful, and really encourage you to do some beautiful inner joy work too as well this week. Things that bring you joy. I'm going to be painting today, so I might do a video on that as well. So have a beautiful day. Thank you for listening. Bye.